I'm Sanwa Ali. I'm a consultant at Workpermit.com. Today we're going to have a look at visas around the world for Indian companies. The most common visas that are likely to be used by Indian companies who wish to send their staff around the world. Right, let's look at the UK. The UK has a number of visa categories that can be used by Indian companies wishing to send their staff to the UK. The UK system is actually in the process of change at the moment. We're now changing from the current system into the tier system. In fact, there is already a tier 1 visa which is applicable in some situations to Indian companies. The various visas that Indian companies should be looking at in most cases will probably be either the UK work permit, soon to be replaced by tier 2, or the tier 1 visa, which is for skilled people wishing to work freely in the UK. So those generally are the visas that Indian companies should be looking at. Both of these applications are relatively quick. You should be able to obtain a tier 1 visa or a UK work permit within a period of, say, 1 or 2 months, or even less than that. The US has a number of non-immigrant visas that can be used by Indian companies wishing to send their staff to the US. Two popular visas are the H-1B visa and the L-1 visa. However, the problem with H-1B is every year, within 1 or 2 days, the visa allocation is fully used up. So the H-1B is frequently unavailable to Indian companies and indeed other companies to employ people in the US. Another visa worth considering is the L-1 visa. The L-1 visa is an intra-company transfer visa. It's for managers and professionals who wish to work in the United States. The L1 visa is only available if it is, say, an Indian company that wishes to set up a new office or has an existing office in the United States. Well, Europe is a part of the world that Indian companies have taken more and more of interest in. Investments in Europe from India have gone up substantially over the last few years or so. With that investment comes a need to send staff from India to Europe. If you look at various European countries, they have differing systems, and some countries make it easier to get a visa, other countries make it quite difficult to get a visa. Looking at countries such as Belgium and the Netherlands and Germany, those countries make it relatively straightforward to gain a work visa, at least compared to some of the other countries. In comparison, France and Italy and Spain make it somewhat more difficult to gain a work visa. It is not impossible, but the processing times can be very, very lengthy, and it can be very, very difficult, if not impossible in some cases, to gain a work visa, work permit for those countries. Entry to Australia is normally based on an Australian work visa, which is a temporary visa, or based on general skilled migration. If you are an Indian company wishing to send your staff to Australia, probably you would go for a work visa. The work visa is quite quick to obtain, probably not taking more than 1 or 2 months, perhaps a few months in some cases. It allows entry to Australia to work for a number of years. If you have the relevant agreement with the Australian government, then it can be even quicker to gain an Australian work visa. So the Australian work visa is certainly worth considering. Another visa which is used quite a lot for entry to Australia is general skill migration. However, that would probably not be used much by Indian companies because of the processing times. It could take, about a year in processing times, if not longer. So it's probably not worth going for in most cases. Canada has a number of visas that can be used by Indian companies. For example, there is the usual Canadian work visa. There's the Canadian Provincial Nominee Scheme, which means that a particular province in Canada has determined that certain occupations are in demand. So that allows much faster processing and makes processing much simpler for visas. Also, there is facilitated processing for IT workers in certain types of specialisation. So that also allows quicker entry into Canada. Otherwise, if you don't come under one of the special schemes, you have to get validation with human resources in Canada, who will need to show that there is a shortage of people to fill the vacancy in most cases. Another route for entry into Canada is the Canadian skilled worker category. However, that is probably not going to be used so much by Indian companies because of the processing times, which can be some years. However, there can be expedited processing with Canadian skilled worker immigration applications in certain situations. That is just a brief overview of various visas that can be used by Indian companies to send their staff around the world. If you are looking for more detailed information, then look on our website, www.Workpermit.com. We have detailed guides on numerous visas and work permits from around the world. If you wish to keep up to date on news on visas and immigration around the world, then subscribe to our newsletter. Look at www.Workpermit.com/news for details of our newsletter, which is published every week with updates on visas and immigration from around the world. I'm Sanwa Ali, Workpermit.com.